So, my name is Hyeok Kwon,
My name is Sabijon.
and today we'll talk about
Consumer mathematics. Dr. Nocon's a part of the course, which is cryptography, coding theory, math as a language, in patterns, and in nature.
Alright, so what are your personal views about the consumer math?
Consumer math, my personal views, it applies in my life because I have bank accounts. My dad makes sure that I know how to open a bank account and what I need to start up all of that, and he makes sure that I'm aware of other things such as loans and stuff, but not necessarily having to do them now, just knowing that I'm able to do that.
Yeah. And also, I see like math is very relevant in this field because like learning how to solve the interest and expected outcome is very important.
Yeah.
Also in the stock change,
Yeah.
you can calculate that if you lose your money or you actually gain some money.
You have to be smart. Yeah.
So,
How do you see math as a relevant tool in consumer mathematics?
where did the answer?
Because that's answered. Okay, the next question. Why do you think mathematics is essential in tackling problems in consumer mathematics?
Well, consumer mathematics is basically everything math related. So if you don't know math, maybe you'll be troubled. Like you don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
So what are your personal views about the topic of coding theory?
Oh, coding theory. Well, coding theory, it seems like it gets even more essential nowadays.
Yeah.
As time passes, I think this field of math will be more complicated and more essential.
Yeah.
Because like digital profile
Yeah,
and
we're
those
in
are
that
yeah.
age where we rely on technology and all that stuff, and
Securing them is like really
yeah,
really important.
really important because of all those hackings and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, so coding and cryptography is like very essential.
Yeah. So
The tool.
how do you see math as a relevant tool in coding theory?
Well, coding theory basically follows like the
Codes.
Yeah.
Those binary codes.
binary codes. Those are in numbers. And
Yeah.
some like the security program that has like exact formula that can transcript and that can cipher and decipher
Yeah.
into different codes.
Yeah.
So yeah, like applying those
Yeah.
are
You ask me.
okay.
What do you think mathematics? See? So why do I think mathematics
It's
is
essential.
essential in tackling problems in coding theory? Well, like what you said, it's important for us to keep our information that we need to be kept secret. We need to just for ourselves and those people that we deem important enough to know it. We have to make sure that no one can get to it, so that you don't want the secret out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically it. Yeah. Okay.
So
Cryptography.
isn't it coding theory and cryptography?
We're talking about
Math. So what is your view on the math as a language?
math as a language, logic and reasoning. I actually like this one because I think it's important to understand that in producing what do you call this? Reason. You need to. There's a certain formula. You can't just say whatever and believe it's real. It's like 1 + 1 is equal to 2. Like, and then you can't say now 1 + 1 = 3 because it's not right. You know it's not right. So yeah. So how do you see math as a relevant tool in math as a language?
Oh, like in math as a language, there's like a different equations such as like addition, simplification, conjunction, modus
Modus ponens.
yeah, modus ponens, and hypothetical.
Syllogism.
Yeah. So yeah, those are actually using mathematical equation signs. Like,
Yeah.
And yeah, like the therefore signs. I think it's like a math as a tool and reasoning is like make it make things simplify
Yeah.
and easier to understand.
Yeah.
Instead of like long words, if we make it in a
Yeah,
formula.
just straight to the point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, why do you think mathematics is essential in tackling problems in math as a language?
Well, I believe that people will not really notice in during reasoning problem.
Mm-hmm.
They will not really notice they're actually applying math.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, like if you think logically, applying this method is like very important.
There's a formula, like in
Yeah.
math. There's
But
always.
like sometimes it's very tricky. Like sometimes it's not shown. Sometimes when someone says something, even though it's not that reasonable,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes people think it's reasonable. But if you break it down
Yeah.
into like this kind of like formulas, oh, maybe this person is saying something.
It's making sense.
It's not make sense like that.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
So math. So what do you think about math as a study of patterns?
My view on that, well, I didn't see it at first because when I look at patterns, I just see it as it is. I don't think that there's something mathematical behind it. Of course, I see you can't when there's a pattern. They're all the same. They're all the same length and whatever. But I never really thought about that it having like other meanings. So I think that it was cool learning about it because it showed us from a simple motif you can come up with something bigger and something mathematical already. So how do you see math as a relevant tool in in patterns?
Well, math is involved like when you move the figure or when you rotate it, like you can tell like how many degrees it
Yeah.
rotated, and when it moved, like from what point to what point,
Yeah.
the distance it traveled, and when it magnified and
Yeah.
retract, we can see how much it is different from its original form by using math.
Yeah. So why do you think mathematics is essential in problems in math? There aren't really problems, I think, in math in patterns.
Yeah.
Other than I don't think there are any
Yeah.
problems, to be honest. Okay.
Same.
Next.
Okay, so math and nature. So what do you think about it?
Math in nature, I think it's really beautiful.
Yeah, same.
Because you see it everywhere, and it's not just in nature, like it's in the nature of people inside them and what they can do about it. Like artists, they come up. I never, well, I knew there was a certain mathematical way in how they did their paintings, but for it, like when in the videos that Dr. Nocon showed us, like Mona Lisa's nose, and then it'll go around her head and her shoulder, and then if you compare to the other paintings of Leonardo, it was all the same. It was like, what did he do? Did he trace it
Yeah.
first, or is he just really that galing? Right? It was very interesting. So, how do you see math as a relevant tool in nature?
Well, the math as a tool is relevant in Fibonacci sequence,
Mm-hmm.
where fn is equal to fn minus 1 plus fn minus 2.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like basically a formula.
Mm-hmm.
And if you take a look at the Fibonacci spiral, first it start with 2 1
One.
unit block,
1 1
and 2 1
2
2 block,
and then 3
and then 5
3
3
3 5
3 5
8,
8.
so on
Yeah,
so
so
forth.
on.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically that's like that's a math as a tool.
Yeah.
And also it also finds the golden ratio. So yeah, 1 is to 1.618.
Yes.
That's like
That's the golden ratio.
so
Essential.
so why do you think the mathematics is essential in tackling problems in math and nature?
I think it's important because you need to follow a certain code or method when you do something. For example, in music, you can't just put notes together and expect it to sound good. There's a certain way, and you're supposed, because it's pleasing, like what Dr. Nocon said, that you find a person attractive when there's symmetry. Right?
And
So
they
it's the
follow
same
golden
when it comes to music and art. There's a certain way it's pleasing to you because they follow a method because of mathematics.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And yeah, also like to emphasize more on that, if you really want to be a achieved like painter,
Yeah.
I think learning and studying about the Fibonacci spiral is very very important,
Yeah.
because if you draw a figure following that, it will be attractive and
Yeah.
your work will be sold.
Yeah, exactly. Profit. Okay. So what topics did you find most interesting?
For me, math and nature was really interesting
Yeah.
for me. Like during the class, like wow, it's just so cool.
Yeah.
Like whenever they put a picture and they fit the Fibonacci spiral in,
Yeah.
it's like boom,
Yeah.
mind blown.
It was just sad that we didn't have much time to
Yeah, that's true.
really, we didn't finish everything. So I found out my favorite topic, I think, was the coding theory and cryptography, especially your activities where that, remember the dancing man?
Yeah, it was.
I mean, it was like, I don't
Interesting.
understand. Yeah, I don't understand why we had to draw because of the, was that Sherlock Holmes? I think it was really interesting.
So, what do you think MATAPRE is a math course, and how do you think it's different from other typical math course?
Okay, for me, math has never been my strongest suit. I've always been more, I lent towards arts and anything there. I hate math, to be honest. But when it came to MATAPRE, it wasn't really on computations or all these formulas you had to memorize. It was more on analysis and really understanding what these theories were about. So I think that's what was different from MATAPRE to other math courses. Like I had StatLit, which was on statistics. It still had math, but it's not the same as like in high school where we had trigonometry and calculus and all that, where it was really, really heavy hand. For you?
Well, first of all, MATAPRE is like more like,
Go ahead.
MATAPRE is more like understanding the concept rather than computing stuff.
Yeah.
Just like what you said, and like the difference would be MATAPRE really feels like something like a literature course, more like and then when to the latter part of the course, I really thought it's really like a human art class. Like
yeah, because we started learning about.
I learned that in my
human art.
class.
That's why I'm learning also in human art.
It was generally very interesting and really enjoyable.
Yes, same.